now on 105.9 FM.
I want to thank you for all you do. We really appreciate you.
WMAL.
7:50 on the Morning Majority. We're talking to Dr. Alveda King, niece of Martin Luther King Jr. on this Martin Luther King Day. She serves as Director of African American Outreach for Priests for Life, big pro-life activist, and a former member of the House of Representatives in Georgia. How's it going, Dr. King?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Tell me a little bit about what you do on this day to remember your uncle. Are you caught up in activities all day long, or did you get some time to reflect?
Well, actually, my children are assigned out. I have adult children, and they'll be taking part of the day on, not a day off, and they'll go and volunteer and do some things in some charitable places. I will go to the service, and some of my family, children, and mother will join me there as well. And that's at the Martin Luther King commemorative service. So I'll be there at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Then I'll hop on a plane and I'll go somewhere tonight and talk about pro-life and why we shouldn't murder our babies.
I want to ask you about this memorial that has been built here in the nation's capital. It's a lovely memorial, but there's been a little bit of a controversy because of a quotation that some people say was taken out of context, the so-called drum major quotation. There's been some word from the Interior Department that they're going to change that somehow. How do you feel about that whole controversy and the idea of changing it?
I think what the challenge is in the paraphrasing of my uncle, which I do, and then I generally go back and look for the real quote and then restate it so that I don't change it too much. It's almost the same thing as the Bible. We can paraphrase it, but we really want to get it accurately.
Right.
And so I think it would be fine to change it, but I don't want people arguing and squabbling. Just like I heard in a previous segment, one of you, they were saying, don't describe the person by skin color.
Right.
Now, when you're going to do a news report and people say, well, what did they look like? Blue eyes, brown eyes, black hair, blonde hair, no hair, tall, short, pink skin, brown skin, black skin, yellow skin. But, we're all human, one race, one blood. And so, the skin outside is just... it's an ethnical kind of variation, but we shouldn't be fighting about words on a monument, skin color. There will be differences, but let brotherly love and peace continue.
I want to pick up on your pro-life message. You put it very bluntly, murdering our babies.
Yeah.
How do you think this is a problem that is getting worse, and is it getting worse in the African American community?
The situation is actually getting better. People are becoming alert and aware. My uncle once said the Negro cannot win if he's willing to sacrifice the futures of his children for immediate personal comfort and safety. And contrary to what Planned Parenthood and all the other liars say, please forgive me, Martin Luther King Jr. was pro-life. And because he was pro-life, I say this, a woman has a right to choose what she does with her body. The baby is not her body. Where is the lawyer for the baby? How can the dream survive if we murder our children? And that's from conception until natural death, the old, the sick, the elderly. We don't want kids dropping out of school. We don't want people ending up in jail. We want people to have enough to eat. We want people to have somewhere to live. But if we abort our babies in the womb, none of those issues will ever have to be dealt with. And so some people say, well, good, so kill them in the womb and then they'll never be poor. Jesus fed the poor. He didn't kill the poor.
Well, Dr. Alveda King, the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., on this day where we stop and remember his life and legacy, thank you for joining us here on The Morning Majority.